Russell Westbrook wants out of OKC, according to Woj. This news came down after Paul George demanded to be traded from the Thunder to the Clippers, basically leaving Russ for Kawhi. The Athletic reports the Heat and Pistons have interest in Russ. And what about the Rockets? A source told ESPN that Houston is a, quote, long shot for a deal, but a trade anywhere might be tough since Russ still has 4 years, over $170 million left on his deal. Chris Broussard still with us this morning. Chris, $42.8 million a year average salary for Russ. How difficult is it going to be to trade him?
Look, I have the utmost respect for Russell Westbrook's game. I mean, what he's done with the triple-double is incredible. He will not only be a Hall of Famer, I think he's a legend for doing this, unless people start doing averaging triple-doubles left and right. Like, this is legendary. However, if you trade for him, and I think every team most teams in the league know it, when you trade for Russ, you are trading for relevancy and to become significant and maybe a second, maybe a third-round playoff team. That's what you're trading. You're not going to win you're not trading to win a title because the way he plays, he's not going to lead a team to a championship. Okay. So, with that said, I think there's only a handful of teams that'll be interested. Of course, Houston. I mean, they're interested in every big name. Can you imagine Westbrook, Chris Paul, and James Harden together?
Well, they'd have to trade Paul. I guess that they would get rid of one bad contract for another.
And that's the thing. I don't see OKC. That would go against everything they're trying to do. Is
they're
to
totally
get
rebuild.
Chris. I know it would be one fewer year than Russ has, but still, that makes no sense. So, Houston, that's ridiculous. Miami, they're looking for Hail Marys too. You know, so maybe would they do it and see if Russ and Butler will work? I don't really like it together, but possibly. The one team that's reportedly interested that I think should do it is Detroit. Detroit. Like, you're in the East, so you never know. And you have Blake Griffin and Russ. How would it work? At least one's a guard and one's a forward. And so you try it. Detroit was out of the playoffs, I believe, 7 straight years, irrelevant. And then they tried that, break it down, let's build, get lottery picks and all that. It failed. So then they go out and trade for Blake Griffin and try to, let's be good now.
Right.
So go get Russ. And you'll definitely be a playoff team, maybe a second-round team, and who knows? You get Russ, works some magic, plays well. Griffin's great.
Yep.
The East is not the West. Even though Milwaukee and Philly are good, it's not the West. So I think Detroit is the place.
I am with you.
It's very difficult. I kind of feel bad for Russ because he keeps trying to marry these guys and they divorce him after a short period of time. I feel bad for him, and it's hard to look at this and say this is not an indictment on his playing style. They might like him, but his playing style, they don't feel is conducive.
Did you see what Kevin Durant's brand manager tweeted or Instagrammed? His is his brand, KD's brand manager. You didn't see? He Instagrammed that, it was harsh. Nobody wants to play with Russ. He said he doesn't care about winning. He just cares about his statistics. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it was harsh. And you can't help. This is KD's brand manager and friend. So you can't help but think that he's heard something from KD.
Skip, he'll be 31 in November, and with 4 years left on that deal. 34, at the age of 34, he'll have a player option for $47.1 million. Skip, how unless you're trying to move, because he will put butts in the seats, because the triple-double is box office and people want to see that. But Skip, that's an albatross. The only worst contract is John Wall, because John Wall's not playing this year because he just retore his Achilles in February. That's the only worst contract. I don't know how. Miami, Jimmy Butler wants the ball. That's why Jimmy Butler didn't go to L.A. That's why Jimmy Butler didn't go to want to pair up with anybody. Jimmy Butler wants to be a star again. He wants to be a solo act. He ain't trying to share the stage. He ain't trying to do no duet.
Nope.
He all about, hey, I'm solo, bro. I'm doing my own thing. And to put Russ, we wondered, how would James Harden and Chris Paul, can you imagine trying to put Westbrook and James Harden together, or Westbrook and Jimmy Butler together? Skip, that makes no sense. I just don't know how you do. But you got to move him because he's ticked off that he found out his name because I stayed when James Harden wanted out. I stayed when Kevin Durant wanted out, and he walked out the door and left you with nothing. And I say, I'm going to ride with you. Look, if I don't win another title, I'm going to give you everything I got, but I'm going to stay loyal. And the first chance you get, you try to get up off me, because the same thing with Kyrie. Once he found out they tried to move him, he said, okay, you want to trade me? Right. Trade me, because I am not playing again. Yep. Russ is going to adopt this same policy, Skip. He's not going to play there because he doesn't trust Sam Presti anymore, because Sam Presti said, you I got. Way we know. Even when he lost Kevin Durant, he said, we still got Russ. Russ is our guy. We want guys that want to be here. And come to find out, you try to get rid of him.
Here's the other thing, Shannon. Is Russ upset that you just traded Paul George so quickly? I mean, this has all come to play in the last week or so. Yeah. Like, why not give us another shot? You know what I mean? Like, I was instrumental in getting Paul George here.
What did LeBron tell him?
I thought Sam Presti might just dig in and say, nope, sorry, not going to do it.
He certainly could have.
Yeah.
Because remember, Skip, he called the owner, Dan Gilbert. Kyrie got 2 years left. Right. We ain't got to ask you West what he wants. Paul George had 3 years left.
But Sam Presti didn't want an Anthony Davis situation to transpire and turn into a dumpster fire in Oklahoma City next year.
And he also didn't want that big three in L.A. either.
And I also think Sam Presti is a shrewd enough operator to start thinking, you know what? I may need to just rebuild this right here, right now. And if the Clippers are that desperate to give me all those draft picks and give me a couple of pretty good players, I'll take it now and I'll start over now.
Skip, I mean, do you actually think that they're going to be in the lottery unless they lose both of those guys? They're not going to be in the lottery. So what lottery picks you going to be getting?
No, they're not going to be.
So the point is, Russell Westbrook is now a record-setting MVP on his way to becoming a guy who never won a championship or even got to a conference final in his career.
Well, he got to the finals.
I'm sorry. Well, as a solo act, like where he was the guy.
Not even the second round.
That is true. So he is 31, going on 31, and in his age 32 season, I look at what happened to Allen Iverson, who was another high-contact player. What happened at 32 in Denver? He had his last good season, and then he just hit the wall hard. And I'm afraid Russ might hit the wall pretty hard. He's had, 3 different knee procedures or surgeries, right? And to me, he's a bad buy going forward. And I've said it from the start. I love to watch him. I just wouldn't want to play with him. I love how hard he plays, but I'm convinced now that he plays hard for himself more than his team, for his brand, for his stats, and that he slightly prioritizes starring over winning. And when you have a point guard with that mentality, it's hard to go win with that guy, because I think everybody knows deep down it's about stats. It's about you criticizing him for the free throws, trying to get easy rebounds as the inside guy on the free throw, rebound. So in the end, I don't feel sorry for him. I still love to watch him, and you're right. He is relevant.
Skip, they yielded the man. You don't feel sorry for that? I mean, he stayed loyal to your team, OKC.
I'm shocked by it, because I thought Paul George was the perfect running mate for him, because Paul pledged allegiance to him.
You talking about the 4th of July?
Yeah.
When he came back on stage?
I mean, this was till death do us part, right?
Or until Kawhi comes
along. 2 of the best fits for Westbrook were Kevin Durant and Paul George.
Okay.
And he couldn't win it with them.
Remember, they just won 1 game off Portland last year. So I think Paul George said, man, and Paul George had his career year. Across the board. Everything was the best. He led the NBA in steals and deflections. It was his best PER, his best win shares. Everything was great, great, great. And he still said, I don't know.
But he professed his love to Russ. Until death do us part. It's like getting married. Or until somebody better looking come along. Kawhi better than you, Russ. Bro, don't, hey, I still like you. But number 2 gives me a better opportunity to win. Kevin Durant was there. I was like, bro, I've been here 9 years. If we ain't got it here now.
Here's the thing for George. George now is looking at this will change. If they win a championship, this will change his legacy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he could be in, I know we say Skip and I are a little, not down on him, but he could become Scottie Pippen. And that's a great legacy. I mean, Scottie, if they win, that's who he is versus being just a guy that was a great player, probably a Hall of Famer, but, never really won anything. So this is big. He made the right move.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. It's got to be a Detroit, Orlando, Minnesota, because he's just box office.
Hello. Boy, Carl Anthony Towns about to ask up out of Minnesota. If he goes to Minnesota with Towns, he just got Jimmy Butler up out of there because Jimmy Butler was taking the shot. Can you imagine?
But they're trying to get that Andrew Wiggins contract out from under.
Good luck with that one.
And it's a big one.
I tell you what, if I was OKC, I'd take Wiggins for where?
Yeah, I bet you would. I bet you would.
I think the only place is Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look at this.
And you're right. In the East, maybe they could
make some noise. You're relevant. You're significant. You know? You're not winning
I'm glad we ain't got no kind of problem. You know, my team ain't got no problems.
Really?
They ain't got no problem.
Got no closer.
We got a closer. Stop that. Stop.
Got some age issues going on,
Stop.
but no problem.
We got no problem.
Yeah.
Oh, Skip, I'm telling you, listen to me. You asking for it. Leave the man alone. Do you want to see what he about to do?
I'm trying to leave him alone so he can finish Space Jam.
No. Oh,
Can I ask you, when the Clippers and the Lakers play, who you...
Spurs. I'm rooting for the Spurs. They can tie for all I care.
I want this game to be on Criminal. If this the game on Criminal, I'm going to be there.
Well, you better be.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be Christmas Day.
I mean,
what other game is
what day does Christmas fall on?
Definitely Christmas Day.
I sure hope it's a week. I hope it's a Friday. On
It's
Saturday.
definitely Christmas Day.
Chris, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate your insight. By the way, Randy Williams is Katie's brand manager who was Instagramming Russ is about Russ and doesn't care about anything, including team or teammates, if you want to check it out.
So no Christmas card from Russ to KD?
They've been off each other's Christmas list.
All right, up next, were the blockbuster moves this weekend actually bad for the NBA? We'll discuss that when we come back.